4% three-point field goal percentage. He was good, and a lot of those drives to the hoop are going to leave him open on the perimeter.
And the Bronx should have somewhat of an advantage here with the Hornets missing John Stansbury, the 6'3 sophomore, and also the transfer from Tennessee, 6'10 sophomore, Zach Kent. They will both be out. They're both expected to come back this season, but both will be out today. You see Kevin Baggett in his 10th season for the Rider Bronx as you take a look at the head coaches, two-time MAC Coach of the Year. And for the Hornets, they have Sam Waterman, first-year head coach. You see, he served as a member of the U.S. basketball coaching staff, but he's really a high school legend in Delaware. He's really never left the state of Delaware in his coaching or playing career.
How about over 570 victories at Sanford School over 30 years, 10 state championship game appearances, and he was the 2016 Delaware Coach of the Year. So he's on the sidelines now leading this program.
And he has a task of taking a team that's only won 6 games over the last few seasons, so it's a tough, 36 games. Has won 36 games over the last 6 seasons. So we are underway. Our officials for tonight: Earl Walton, Nathan Farrell, and Mike Palau. So a good refereeing crew here tonight. Right away down low, hook shot is off the mark by Janetto. Get the starting lineups in a moment. Dwight Murray down low to Ogie Muno Johnson. Good block inside by the 7'3 Sodom. And here's a walk, first turnover of the game. Delaware State starting Corey Perkins, who played high school ball for Waterman. Fragala, Janetto, Chris Sodom, the 7'3 center, and Miles Carter. Miles Carter actually is a former walk-on and became a second-team All-MEAC player. So that is the Delaware State starting lineup. You see the Bronx trying to work their way in. Instead, Vaughn will shoot the 3 and knock it down. So our first points of the game in the starting 5 for the Bronx: Alan Powell, along with Mervyn James, Ogie Muno Johnson, Dwight Murray, and Demencio Vaughn, who just knocked down the 3. There's a pass outside. Carter can't get around. Ogie Muno Johnson back out to Carter for 3. No good off the mark. The rebound, Sodom. Sodom will put it up. Back iron, no good, but the tap goes in. Credit Miles Carter.
Well, Sodom already making an impact at both ends. Had the good block against Ogie Muno Johnson. Second chance opportunity there, using his height to go up amongst the trees.
Powell. Now Murray. Ogie Muno Johnson tries to get around Sodom. He can't. And then a pass by Vaughn. He tried to get it to Ogie Muno Johnson. He wasn't looking, and a turnover for the Bronx. Here's a drive to the hole and a finger roll layup. Puts the Hornets on top. So Miles Carter 4, the Bronx 3.
Yeah, Miles Carter is a player that the Bronx are going to have to shut down. He led the Hornets in scoring a year ago, 6th in the MEAC, averaging about 15 a game.
And again, started off as a walk-on. Dwight Murray Jr. now to Powell. Skip pass. James steps on the end line, out of bounds. Another turnover for the Bronx. That is the 3rd turnover for the Bronx.
On Friday against Coppin State, the Bronx were able to shake the zone for Coppin with a lot of those skip passes, trying to adjust the spacing, and that was effective, especially in the second half when they were able to really attack.
There's a jumper up top, no good by Carter. And Ogie Muno Johnson, his 2nd rebound. Murray, crossover dribble, finds James, left corner, 3 on the way, no good. Rebound pulled down by Ogie Muno Johnson for a layup. It looked like the ball was going to come out and then fall in.
And it disrupted the timing for the defensive rebounding for the Hornets, and Ogie Muno Johnson able to take advantage.
3 minutes through this first half. Perkins. Now Fragala a 3 as he used the Sodom screen. No good, and James the other way. James going to try to go coast to coast. Loses the handle, too much dribbling from James, and then a Powell steal for 3, no good, well off the mark. And the ball is taken by Fragala. Fragala. He's stripped by Vaughn. Vaughn the other way. Vaughn ahead to James. James to the hole. Layup no good. Rebound put back Vaughn.
Helter-skelter there, Daryl, both ends, and the Bronx able to convert. Good hustle by Ryder, and James showing his abilities to handle the ball and going coast to coast.
Mervyn James, the transfer from North Alabama. Fragala. Now to Carter. Tend to shoot. Perkins, short jumper, iron, no good. Rebound taken by Murray, and Murray quickly up to the forecourt. Vaughn, 3. Left it short, rebound taken by Vaughn, but off of Ogimono Johnson. And the Hornets the other way. Stop pop by Carter, got it. So Carter now with all 6 for the Hornets.
In Delaware State, they are not hesitating shooting the ball early in transition, and Carter's looked pretty smooth, making shots off of Ryder misses.
And Sam Waterman's club playing tight defensively as well. Murray crossover down the lane over Sodom, no good. Sodom definitely disrupted the shot. Jumper no good the other way by Carter.
Carter gets a green light every time he wants, and can you blame Coach Waterman, because he looks like he's got a knack for putting the ball in the bucket.
Powell hawked by Fragala. Vaughn looks inside, nothing there. Now Ogimono Johnson. Powell drives to the hole and blocked again by Sodom. Ogimono Johnson comes up with it. Now Murray, little floater, no good. Rebound. Oh, Dimencio Vaughn tried to hammer it back home, but couldn't get it down. Now Perkins finds Fragala. Fragala right in front of the Bronx bench. Fakes the 3, drives it on James. No good. Good defense by James, but Fragala gets it back. Knocks it off of, no, he couldn't get it off of James, so he couldn't get the ball out of his hand. So it's out of bounds off of Fragala and the Hornets. And we come to our first timeout. 14:21 left first half. Riders There's a skip pass to Murray, right side, no good. Altman, who checked in during the timeout, tried to chase it down. And it is off Altman, out of bounds. Cedric Altman, the 6'2" junior from Rialto, California, Pepperdine transfer.
Daryl, Sodom already having an impact on this game, particularly.
Stops at Georgetown and George Washington before settling in it here. Here's Altman just inside the arc, jumper no good, rebound taken by the Hornets. And Christopher Smith, 6'8" freshman from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, checked in the game, and an offensive foul on Carter.
And I think that's what we can expect from Altman. He's going to draw charges. He's a little bit longer than his size. And he had an impact at both ends of the game on Friday, including a 4-point play that helped Riders stretch out the lead.
Corey McKeithen will check in. First action of the night. The guard from Windsor, Connecticut. McKeithen sat out all last year with a knee injury. Looked very good against Duquesne, not so much against Coppin State.
Yeah, he looks comfortable out there on the floor. That's a big help for the Bronx, having another guard who can handle and come off the bench.
McKeithen finds it, right corner, jumper no good, rebound taken by Smith. And Smith up ahead to Carter. Carter driving in, stop, pop, no good, rebound taken by Altman. And Altman will walk it up for the Bronx.
And having another point guard allows Murray to play off the ball, which makes a difference in allowing him to attack.
So both teams cold here the last several minutes. 7-6 Bronx. There's been no scoring since that media timeout. Here's a Benson 3, right wing, no good. Benson knocked down 2 against Coppin State. One very big 3 later stages of the game when Coppin State was making their comeback.
He made a big difference in the ball game because James and Ogimuno Johnson fouled out with about 10 minutes to go. So Benson played critical minutes in the final 10 minutes to help the Bronx win.
See Demencio Vaughn taking a seat. Mervyn James back in for the Bronx. Altman inbounds to Murray. A long 3 on the way, in and out, no good. Rebound batted around, and Carter comes up with it for the Hornets. Now Perkins. Perkins guarded by Altman. Altman, a good defender. Gives it up, right corner. 3 from Smith, no good. Rebound James, and James is fouled by Smith.
Darryl, if there was any hangover event from last game for the Hornets losing, they look very confident out there so far.
Yeah, that 3 was from Janetto. Fahim Janetto, his first shot of the game. He started this game, his first shot. We come to a media timeout. 11:54 left. There was no scoring from timeout to timeout. 7-6 Bronx. We'll be back with more on ESPN. 54 left first half, a low-scoring first half. The Bronx 7-6 lead. Steve, I don't remember when they last point. I mean, it's been a while here.
And Ryder got off to a slow start offensively on Friday against Coppin State, and this game kind of mirroring that with the Bronx struggling to put the ball in the basket in the first 8+ minutes.
All 6 Delaware State points scored by Miles Carter. It has been a while. There's a pass to James. James working inside over Smith, and James gets the scoring.
And that's a nice job by Kevin Baggett coming out of the timeout. Get James back on the block. I feel like early on in this game, James has caught a lot of passes more on the perimeter, and a good setup there to get a finish from him.
That was Ryder's first basket in their last 10 shots. Delaware State's been scoreless over the last 4 minutes of play. Altman being chased by Perkins rather. James again tries to go on Smith, this time cut off. Tries to get the ball back, but Fragala picks it up. Fragala, long jumper up top, got it. Dominic Fragala, his first points of the ball game. And we're tied at 9. Matter of fact, the first points by a Hornet other than Miles Carter.
How about Delaware State? They were down by 20 points less than 11 minutes into their game against Salisbury, so they're off to a much better start here compared to Friday.
The Bronx, cold shooting by both teams. Bronx just 4 of 17 from the field. Here's a ball off Murray's foot, gets it back. And he finds McKeithen, down low to Benson. No good, but he is fouled, and Nehemiah Benson will go to the line. Our first free throws of the game coming up.
Looked like a near turnover there, but Murray able to make a sharp pass. McKeithen quickly moved the ball to Benson, so the Bronx able to make something out of what could have been a lost possession.
Steve, I'm going to do some quick addition here. These teams are combined 8 for 32 from the field to start this game. Perkins' first free throw, no good.
Well, what's disappointing is the Bronx shot the ball great in the second half on Friday night against Coppin State. So they haven't been able to carry that over.
Fahim Janetto back in the game for Delaware State. And Benson ready for his second. Benson gets a friendly roll off that back iron. And the Bronx now up 10-9. Benson will head out, and Jerry Ogimuno Johnson back in.
And maybe most surprisingly is that Murray, who's played real well in the first couple games, he's been the one that hasn't been able to get it going here today.
Our scoreboard operators having all kinds of problems. It is not 19-10, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope Coach Baggett doesn't look at that scoreboard.
Here's Sodom. Back out for a 3, no good, back iron and out. Rebound taken by Ogimuno Johnson. And now Murray splits 2 defenders. Murray to the hole, no good on the drive, and Sodom with the rebound. Good behind the back dribble to free himself. It is Perkins. Perkins gets the ball back now to Smith. Back to Perkins. Perkins. Bockham. 6 to shoot for Fragala. Dishes it off for Janetto, 3. And he knocks down his 3 from up top, and it's 12-10 Delaware State.
Yeah, the Hornets are moving the ball well in the half court. The ball's not on the floor very long. They're getting some open shots and knocking them down.
Now Merritt. James. Zone defense now for the Hornets. James on the drive, tries a reverse, no good. Did not hit the iron. Fragala comes up with it anyway. And the Hornets the other way. So the zone definitely disrupting the Bronx.
And James that time caught the ball in the wing, but just not in stride there, making the drive to the hoop off balance with the reverse attempt.
Perkins around Ogimuno Johnson. Good dish to Smith, who drives in, and Janetto checked that. Janetto good and fouled. I'm having trouble seeing the numbers. The 13 and the 0 look a lot alike here for the Hornets. That is Janetto, number 13. And it's a 14-10 Hornet lead.
This was a great drive on the baseline by Perkins, and a good finish there by Delaware State. They've kind of taken the energy and the crowd noise out of this first half.
Janetto completes the traditional three-point play, 6 straight for Janetto. And it's a 5-point Delaware State lead. 8:46 left first half. Powell, turnaround jumper, no good. And the rebound pulled down by Backham. So one and done again for the Bronx. And a ball's off of McKeith and out of bounds. It'll belong to the Hornets.
And this happened on Friday night. Coppin State went zone. The Bronx just had a lot of passes on the perimeter and went through a lull offensively. That was a good shot by Powell. He was able to flash to the high post, just couldn't get it to go down.
Perkins. Now Janetto. Skip pass back to Perkins. Perkins looks to drive. Kicks it back to Backham. Backham dribbles once and a jumper off the mark. Vaughn the other way. Vaughn to the hole. It was stripped away. He got it back. He goes in for the layup. Good and fouled. Good job by Vaughn to keep his concentration and get it to go, and he'll go to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
And when you're struggling in the half court, it's good to get out and run. And Vaughn, as we take a look at the play, was able to keep his concentration and finish from the opposite side, and maybe this will break some of the Delaware State momentum.
Foul on Janetto, his first, team fourth, and Vaughn does complete the three-point play. Vaughn's got 8, and the Bronx within 2. Full court pressure for the first time here today. Smith traps, Smith in trouble, gets it to Perkins, and Perkins loses it to Altman. Altman, floater, Vaughn, oh, he goes to stuff it on the alley-oop, and he can't shove it down.
That's a shame. That worked perfectly, getting the turnover off of the full court pressure, just not able to get the dunk.
Jumper off the mark, Vaughn with the rebound, now Powell. Powell, stop, pop from 3, no good, off the mark. Good rebound by Ogie Muno Johnson over Soto. Now McKeith. McKeith and the Vaughn, wide open, 3 on the way, no good. And the rebound once again, Ogie Muno Johnson, they're gonna say it's off of him out of bounds and it'll belong to Delaware State. Timeout on the floor, 7:27 left here, first half from Alumni Gymnasium. It is Delaware State 15, Rider 13. We'll be back after this. You're watching on ESPN3. that things will improve. The Hornets 6 of 20. Here's full court pressure. And McKeithen, no call. Bronx do get it back to Vaughn. Layup good. Delaware State 6 of 22 for 7 from 3. The Bronx now 6 of 25, just 1 of 10 from 3.
And the full court pressure trying to do and shutting down the offense so far.
Here's steal by Ogimuno Johnson. Fragala comes up with it. That is 7'3" against 6 foot. Here's a turnaround right elbow jumper for Murray, and we're tied at 17.
We'll expect to see a lot of full court pressure as Coach Waterman calls a timeout until they can show that they can beat it without turning it over.
Yeah, and Sam Waterman, he saw the pressure once again and calls timeout to try to get his team prepared. So all tied up at 17, and you know, Steve, the Bronx will head out to the road after this, and they don't come back until December 5th in conference play against Marist.
Yeah, this is the last non-conference home game of the season. Just the two, Friday night against Coppin State and then tonight against Del State. And it should be interesting to see how this Bronx team performs on the road. They go to Buffalo, they play in Cancun, the 2 games in the SEC against South Carolina and Ole Miss. So it's a pretty exciting month for the team and see how they grow together.
And the next stop for the Bronx will be at Bucknell. That's on Wednesday night. The Bronx could potentially play Bucknell twice this season. Play them in that scheduled game, and then in Mexico they could face them. Full court pressure again, and the ball is knocked off of Vaughn. The full court pressure successful so far for the Bronx. Jalen McGlone in for the Bronx. There's a pass up ahead to Fragala, and McGlone fouls him right away. Not a good foul there by McGlone, but just the second team foul against the Bronx. McGlone, a sophomore from Cheltenham, Pennsylvania. Miles Carter back in for the Hornets. Carter 6 points for Delaware State. Janetto will inbound. And now Perkins. Well, Walton's going to say he was going up with the shot when he was fouled, so there'll be 2 shots upcoming for Corey Perkins, the 6'2" freshman from Wilmington, Delaware.
Foul trouble was an issue for the Bronx on Friday, just their 3rd foul, so they have that going for them so far here in this first half.
Perkins short on the first one. As we mentioned earlier, Perkins played for Sam Waterman at Sanford School before his post-grad year at St. Thomas More in Connecticut. Perkins' second one, also no good.
That's got to be a rarity to play for the same high school coach and then the same college coach. That probably does not happen very often.
There's a Sodom block once again, this time on Murray, but Ogimuno Johnson gets it back, nearly stripped from behind by Fragala. Vaughn, right corner, Murray. Murray tries to slip through the zone, gets it to Altman for 3, no good, and the rebound Sodom.
It's like shades of Duquesne.
Yeah, once again, as the Duquesne game, the Bronx having trouble knocking down threes.
And they're getting some good looks, just not going down right now.
Not many have been contested. Here's Fragala. Tries to thread a pass that is intercepted, but he is called for the offensive foul. 15th foul against Delaware State.
Now, last year, Delaware State gave up over 85 points per game in 19 contests. They will not this year, just having Sodom on the floor.
Yeah, that's correct, and that was the first thing that Coach Waterman took care of in his plans to strengthen that defense. Murray. Now to Ogimuno Johnson, back to Murray. Murray being chased by Perkins. Now Altman. Altman drives, stop, pop. No good, rebound Sodom. The Bronx continue their ice-cold shooting.
Great move by Altman to free himself space and the step back wide open.
Perkins, Janetto one-handed push shot, no good. And the rebound comes out to Powell. Powell to Murray. Murray, right corner, three on the way. Got it! Dwight Murray Jr. for three, and the Bronx back up 20-17.
I thought Murray was going to make a more immediate dart to the hoop. Instead, flash to the corner and a rare outside make for Ryder here in the first half.
There's a pass inside to Sodom, broken up, taken the other way. Murray. Still with it. Now triple teamed, in trouble. Murray still battling, and they're going to call is it a timeout or a foul?
Foul on the floor there.
16 foul. Did they get Janetto? Janetto's second. And DeMarco Backham back in the game for Delaware State. Kyrie Staten in the game, 6'1" freshman from Baltimore. Mervyn James back in for the Bronx, and Alan Powell will inbound. Tries to get a quick pass to James, broken up. Perkins the other way, tries to go behind his back. It is off of his hip, out of bounds, and it'll belong to the Bronx. So sloppy play, once again, by the Hornets.
Yeah, I think that inbound's one that Alan Powell would like to have back, too, as he tried to bounce it to James in traffic.
James looks to drive. He is fouled up top by Sodom.
And that's got to be a key for Sodom, is he's got to figure out a way to stay out of foul trouble. He's done it well here in the first half. That's just his first foul, but when he goes off the floor, the whole defensive identity changes for the Hornets.
James will go to the line for two. It's a one-on-one. Those two shots. First one good, and he'll get another.
Darryl, outside of Demencio Vaughn's 10, rest of the team has scored 11 for Ryder, so it's been a quiet first half for everybody else not named Demencio Vaughn.
James' second free throw good. Largest lead of the game for the Bronx at 5. And here's a pass up ahead to Staten, no good. They're going to call goaltending. So good pass up ahead to Staten and give Staten the basket.
And that just can't happen for Ryder off of a free throw make to give up a hoop and transition there so quickly.
Yeah, Kevin Baggett cannot be happy with his team not getting back on defense. Jeremiah Pope in the game for the Bronx. Now Powell with it. Vaughn to Pope. Long three. Pope off the glass and in. Jeremiah Pope for three, his first offering of the evening. And it's a 6-point Bronx lead. Perkins, now to Staten. Staten guarded outside by Vaughn. Vaughn cuts him off. Now Perkins right corner. Staten left alone up top. Floater long, rainbow no good. Rebound by Murray, and Murray the other way for the Bronx. Across the timeline, Powell. Corner to Pope. Powell tries to split through the zone, can't do it. Staten the other way to the hole, and Vaughn with a big-time block. Vaughn a block on the attempted stuff by Staten. Murray, right corner, three, no good. Rebound is batted by Sodom. To Perkins. Perkins, contact, no call. Now Carter. Carter tries to feed it to Backham, out of bounds off of Vaughn, and a timeout on the floor. 3:12 left first half. The tempo has changed.
closing a gap to meet the Hornets player at the rim, and that was a frenetic sequence for the Bronx. And Demencio Vaughn, another strong start.
Bronx by 6. 21 to shoot for the Hornets. Nathan Farrell will hand the ball to Carter. Miles Carter. Now Perkins. Perkins gets around Powell. Out of Fragala up top, Backham. Backham over Vaughn, short. Rebound loose to Fragala. Puts up a foul line jumper, no good. Rebound is batted away from Backham, and Alan Powell the other way. Pope down to Murray. Left elbow, Vaughn. Vaughn over Sodom, no good.
That's better zone offense, though, for the Bronx. They have Vaughn at the elbow, gets the bounce pass, gets a great look, and gets a little bit more space to take the shot.
Carter. Now Backham. Thought about the three, gives it up to Carter. Carter looks inside to Sodom, working on James. Sodom double team, gets it to Backham. Steps inside the line, back to Carter for three, in and out, no good, and the rebound battled for, and it will stay with the Hornets, 20 to shoot.
How do you box out Sodom?
Well, even if you box him out, he could just reach over you. He's so long, 7'3", long wingspan. Perkins fires a pass to Backham. Backham, reverse layup attempt. He is fouled by James. And they're going to call it a shooting foul, and that'll send Backham to the line for 2. Fourth team foul, first on James, which is a good sign. James fouled out last game along with Ogimuno Johnson. So they need to keep Mervyn James on the floor. First free throw, no good.
I think the Bronx are going to miss Tyrell Bladen. Bladen played a decent amount last year. Started some games, came off the bench. As we take a look at Backham driving in on James. Good job moving laterally on the baseline. Just not a lot of front court depth on this team right now after you get past Ogimuno Johnson and James.
Yeah, Bladen out with the knee injury suffered in preseason practice. Here's a Powell short jumper, no good. Called mid-range off the back iron. Fragala guarded by Vaughn. Fragala uses a Backham screen, then tries to get a pass to Sodom. A little too high for Sodom, which is hard to do. Another turnover. Turnover number 12 for the Hornets. Still 1:36 left here in the first half.
12 turnovers, but they're still only down 5.
And that is due to the Bronx inability to knock down shots. There's a three as right on cue as Jeremiah Pope knocks down his second three.
They need him to shoot the ball. He didn't score in the first 2 games. He's hit 2 big ones here. You really need Pope to come off the bench and knock down some jump shots.
Fragala, jumper, good. Dominic Fragala for 2. 6-point Bronx lead as we approach the minute mark here in the first half. McKeithen, Murray. McKeithen, right corner, Pope, and tries to feed a pass. He can't get it through the zone. You can't make those passes and expect it to get through the zone.
I mean, it's okay to move the ball quickly, but you got to bounce it in there with a lot of those long arms defending for Delaware State.
Backham guarded by Pope. Now Sodom up top. Perkins. 6 to shoot for Carter. Carter, a long three, no good. And the ball out of bounds off the iron. So it'll belong to the Bronx. They can hold for the last shot. 19 seconds left first half. McKeithen, 8 seconds, 7. Back to Murray. Murray Looks for help. 2 seconds. A long three at the buzzer. No good. Falls short off the front iron, and we come to the end of the first half. I mean, imperfect is an understatement here in the first half of the Bronx. A 6-point lead as they head into the locker room.
Hopefully
here
better shooting in the second half.
at the zoo. They'll have to figure things out over this zone. So we're at halftime here from Alumni Gymnasium. Rider 28, Delaware State 22. We'll be back with stats and more here at halftime. You're watching on that is not a highlight, but we'll roll with it.
There's a lid on that rim.
Here's some highlights.
And the Bronx here on the defense, but giving up a Fragala 3 top of the key. And Delaware State getting another jump shot from Janetto. Nice pass underneath and a finish for Janetto and the foul. So some good half-court play there. This was a nice finish by Demencio Vaughn. After losing it on the way up, he was able to finish from the opposite side. Sodom, a slam there. He's been pretty good, especially on the defensive end, the 7-3 center. And there, the Bronx, a rare shot inside that zone, getting the elbow J from Murray. Three-pointer there for Murray, who was starting to heat up late in that first half, and then Vaughn showing off that athleticism with the block at the top.
Yeah, big block by Demencio Vaughn. And our halftime stats brought to you by Fast Signs. And you see the shooting I was talking about, 9 for 32 for 10 from beyond the arc for Delaware State. 10 of 36 for the Bronx, just 4 of 16 from 3. And again, the probably the reason the Bronx are up by 6. There was 11 turnovers.
I think the Bronx had a good idea there late in that first half, getting players around that elbow to shoot shots against that zone. They just really struggled overall, and they need players other than Demencio Vaughn to score better in the second half.
So it is halftime here from the Zoo. The Bronx a 6-point lead, 28-22. We'll be back with more
him going to help alleviate some of the pressure off of Murray and Vaughn.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, this zone with the big 7-3 in. You know, this zone with the big 7-3 inside, that's going to give a lot of teams fits if those teams can't shoot over the zone.
And Sodom wasn't coming out to defend those shots from mid-range. He was kind of staying at home. So, okay, if you're not going to score inside, you really got to make some of those mid-range shots, and the Bronx just couldn't get them to fall in that first half.
The teams taking to the floor. See Kevin Baggett.
Daryl Miles Carter also got off to that real hot start, but then he cooled considerably, stuck on that 6 points that he had in the early going, scoring the first 6 for Delaware State.
Yeah, the Bronx did a good job against Carter after, as Steve mentioned, the quick 6. Ryder will start the second half with the ball. Original starting 5 for both teams. And an alley-oop right off the get-go from the Bronx, and Mervyn James just lays it up and in, so a good design play to start the second half. 8-point lead, largest the game for the Bronx. There's Janetta. Now Soto, the big man, far from the basket to Carter. Carter guarded outside by Vaughn. Perkins cuts through 2 defenders. A wild shot, no good. Rebound James, and now Vaughn. Powell wide open, right corner, 3 no good, in and out. He was standing wide open for probably 6-7 seconds.
What I do like about Powell, even though he's missing last year, if he missed a few shots early, got a little bit timid and wasn't aggressive shooting the ball, he's still firing even though he's off to a tough start tonight.
Ironically, Steve, I'm going to get to that irony in a second. Powell comes up with the steal. Powell the other way. To the hole. No good. Rebound put back James. No good. Rebound Janetto. And now Perkins stops, pops from 3, in and out, no good, and a whistle.
Fergala was down behind the play. Fortunately, came back up to his feet.
3 Bronx. The last time these 2 teams met in 2019, there were 3 Bronx that are on the roster now. Alan Powell was one of them. He was 0 for 6 in 21 minutes of play in that game.
And that was a game where Ryder got out to a huge lead, and it took out some of their more veteran players, and Powell got an opportunity to play a little bit more in a year where he didn't see a ton of minutes.
Turnover by James and the Bronx. Carter the other way to the hole, no good. Rebound, Sodom, and he'll stuff it home. Once he gets it there, you can't stop him. He doesn't even have to jump. He just lifts his arms to. Taken by Perkins, who is knocked off the ball by Ogimuno Johnson. Foul on Ogimuno Johnson. First foul for either side here in the second half.
Not that me and you will ever have to be 7'3" on the basketball court.
It must be great on the basketball court. I'm not sure how great it is off the basketball
Like on a
court.
plane, not as good.
No. There's contact by Murray, foul before the shot. Second team foul here in the second half against the Bronx. The first on Murray. And it'll be Delaware State to inbound. Perkins uses a Sodom screen. Now kicks right side to Fergala. Bronx have done a nice job on Fergala, the leading scorer for the Hornets, coming into this game. Janetto, left corner 3, no good, in and out. Rebound Vaughn, and Vaughn will play to Murray. Murray quickly up for the Bronx. Through the lane, shot is blocked by Sodom, and the Hornets with good numbers the other way. Carter Around Vaughn. Good defense by Vaughn as he just kind of stepped to him and then back.
Coach Waterman really wanted a foul there, had something to say along with other members of the bench.
Powell stops back to Vaughn. Murray. Now James. James to the hole, no good. Rebound, put back, Staffagiri. Ogemuno Johnson, perfect timing off the miss, and he stuffs it home.
Yeah, no weak side box out there for Delaware State, and Sodom on that strong side contending with James, and Jerry's able to stuff it.
The Bronx matched their largest lead of the game at 8. Perkins, 3 right side, no good. And the rebound pulled down by James. Powell quickly up forecourt, Vaughn. Vaughn, 3 over Carter, no good. Rebound is battled, and it is out of bounds off of Fragala, and Delaware State will be Ryder ball 20 to shoot.
Another aspect of Sodom that is impressive as he comes off the floor. Yeah, he's real good running the floor. So there haven't been many opportunities where Ryder's been able to come out and transition and leak where he hasn't been able to recover and get back on D.
Yeah, he's, like I said, I mean, he's going to be tough. It's going to make them tougher for sure. A team that, again, has struggled the last several years. It'll make them much tougher to play against. Ogemuno Johnson, back out, 3, no good all out of Altman's hands. And the rebound loose to Christopher Smith. Smith in the game, along with Backham. And here is a whistle and a foul. Smith is fouled by McKeithen. 3rd team foul here in the second half for the Bronx. First on McKeithen. 4 minutes through this second half. Bronx by 8. We'll be back with more here on ESPN 3.
One of 7 in the second half.
McKeithen, a wild shot, no good. That had no chance of going in. Here's, I don't know what that was about. Carter, now to Fragala. Fragala, Smith. Smith backing in on Ogimono Johnson, up over Ogimono Johnson, no good. So Ajiri, good job defensively. Now McKeithen. I think that shot by McKeithen is going to get him on the bench, Steve. As Murray back, ready to check in. In and out, Ogimono Johnson. Now Powell a three, got it. First three of the game for Powell. First points of the game for Powell. And the Bronx up 11. Trap by the Bronx, and it is a near turnover, but Backham comes away with it. Fragala fakes the three, now dribbles inside. Ball is loose, great job by Vaughn to control it, and then he gives it off to Altman, down to McKeithen. McKeithen the other way, dishes to Altman to the hole, layup good. McKeithen to Altman for two, and the Bronx extend the lead to 11.
It all started with the hustle play by Demencio Vaughn. I think he expected that there would be a Delaware State player to try to tie him up. Instead, he was able to just hand it off.
So it is actually 13-point lead as we take a timeout. 14:29 left second half. It's been all Bronx here in the second half. We'll be
PG-13.
Down fine. Steve Rudenstein back with you here from Alumni Gymnasium, the Bronx Zoo. The Bronx a 37-24 lead, 14:26 left here in the second half. Perkins. Now Fragala, they swing it around. Backham nearly turns it over. 6 to shoot for Carter. Carter driving in, bumped by Powell, and Earl Walton will call the foul. 4th team foul against the Bronx. The first on Alan Powell. Janetto inbounds to Carter. And the 15th turnover against the Hornets. Vaughn left wing. Vaughn now in the lane. Good head and shoulder fake, and he lays one up and in over the rim.
He just showed his strength and physicality there, just bullying his way to the hoop, and he's still the only double-figure scorer in this one.
Another turnover against the Hornets. Good job by Vaughn, who looks to be a little shaken up on the other side of the floor.
Oh, man, you got Vaughn down on one end, and then Powell looked like he may have turned an ankle, but he's back on his feet, which is good.
So Vaughn, it looked like his shoulder maybe as he was going down for the steal. And it all results in Delaware State ball.
Gotta love Vaughn's hustle, though, so far in this one. Here comes Powell, and he just lost a tire there on his way to the hoop. You always got to be nervous about those non-contact injuries, but fortunately, Powell got right back up and walked off. Full court pressure by the Bronx, first time this half.
And they trap Fragala, and it's turned over. Good numbers by the Bronx. Murray a little finger roll layup. And it's all Ryder here in the second half, dominating this second half.
And where would this game be if Delaware State could take care of the ball? I mean, these turnovers have led to a lot of easy hoops on a night where Ryder hasn't shot it well.
Perkins finds Janetto, jumper good. Just the 4th point here in the second half for the Hornets. And Janetto now with 8 to lead Delaware State. I'm sure one of the things that Kevin Baggett and his staff are looking for here is a good closeout by the Bronx. In that Coppin State game, they were up by as many as 15, and then with a blink of the eye, it was down to 4 again.
And that happened throughout the night. Every time Ryder went on a big run, Coppin State had an answer. And that game was more hairy than it needed to be after Ryder built up that double-digit lead.
Tie-up leads to Delaware State ball. And Ogimono Johnson back in for Benson. Short stay that time for Benson. Trapping pressure by the Bronx. This time the Hornets get it ahead to Janetto. Fragala wide open look, no good, well off the mark.
You just wonder if Delaware State can make a similar run because they can't handle it.
Oh, here's a pass up ahead to Ogimono Johnson, couldn't handle it. And the Hornets the other way. Spin move by Carter, then a wild shot, no good. Rebound, Sodom. Sodom working on Ogimono Johnson, who'll stand his ground. Sodom gets the ball to Carter in the paint, and he'll have to back out to Perkins. 10 to shoot for the Hornets and Perkins. Perkins uses a Sodom screen. Left corner, in trouble, and he steps on the baseline out of bounds. Good defense that time by the Bronx, led by Ogimono Johnson. Timeout on the floor, 11:34 left, second half. Ryder 41, Delaware State 26. Ryder ball after. They lead 41-26, and Steve, out of town scoreboards. Look at the Canisius score against a very good
bottom of the MAC and St. Bonaventure in the top 25. That'd be a big upset.
Boston College beats Fairfield. Our out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Rothman. Turnover by the Bronx and McGlone. And then McGlone fouls. Check that Avery Richardson who checked in. 5'9" freshman from Air, Delaware.
That's a tough way to win more minutes if you're Jalen McGlone. Got to take care of the ball.
Turnaround jumper from Staten, no good. And the rebound off of McGlone out of bounds. So McGlone struggling a little bit here as he loses the handle on that. 20 to shoot for the Hornets. It's a little inbound from the far corner. And a whistle. They're going to get Ogimuno Johnson. Second on Ajiri.
How about the foul disparity here in this half?
There's 6 fouls against the Bronx. Still none called against the Hornets. Vaughn out, James in for the Bronx. And once again, Gennetto inbounds for the Hornets. Staten fires a pass to Gennetto. He is fouled by Ogimuno Johnson. Third on Ajiri, 7th team foul. Gennetto will go to the line to shoot 2. Gennetto 1 for 1 tonight from the free throw line. Delaware State just 2 of 5 overall. Back iron, no good.
What happens often when there's this kind of foul disparity is that they come in a flurry quickly the other way.
Generally, that does happen, yes. It would have to be a heck of a flurry here. It'd be more like a storm. 1 of 2 for Gennetto. Trapping pressure by the Hornets for the first time. McGlone, good no-look pass to James. Shot is blocked. James gets it back. Pump fake, and he is fouled by Sodom. Sodom does a pretty good job for a big man not fouling. And that one was close.
Good job by James after the initial block to stick with it, get the loose ball, and go back up. But Sodom's got good footwork, and as you said, Dad, does a pretty good job not to foul there as he has so much more size than his opponents.
James' first trip. Check that second trip to the free throw. He's 3 for 3 now tonight from the line. James now 8 of 11 on the season as he knocks the second one down.
Ryder got to the line a lot the other night. 31 free throw attempts on Friday night, but very few tonight.
Pressure again by the Bronx and another turnover. So one thing this Delaware State team is going to have to work on is how to beat that full court pressure. 19th turnover against the Hornets.
And that's what makes it so difficult to come back when you're down double digits. You just can't afford to give up possessions like that.
There's a Murray long 3, no good. And the ball loose to Pope. Pope a layup. 8 points now for Pope. They trap Carter. Carter, though, gets it ahead to Staten. And now Richardson. Back to Staten. Staten driving in. Oh, Staten hits the floor hard. No good, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Foul on Pope. First on Pope, 8th team foul. Statton's first trip to the line tonight. A large lead here for the Bronx. This game was 28-22 Rider at halftime. Delaware State just 6 points with under 10 to go here in the second half. But again, one of the things that Kevin Baggett and the coaching staff will look for is how well they close out here tonight. Pope, James. James walks with the ball. 10th turnover against the Bronx.
They might as well not call off the Dogs with the full court pressure. They got to show that they can beat it consistently without turning it over.
See Dominic Fragala. Fragala, tough night here. Just 5 points.
You never want to see a box score where you got 2 players with 6 turnovers and there's still about 10 minutes to go in the game.
And you're right, Perkins and Fragala both with a half a dozen turnovers. Strider once again will pressure in the backcourt. And freshman Richardson gets it ahead to Fragala. Fragala, stop, pop, no good. Rebound long to Richardson. Richardson, good move, and it's blocked by James. James up ahead to Murray. Murray to the hole, layup good. 9 now for Murray. And Fragala quickly the other way. Bumped by McKeithen, no call. And now Richardson.
We could be in store now for some really fun MAC games up and down with other teams that can run and are athletic like this Rider team.
Yeah, the Bronx definitely want to get up and down. One of the things that Kevin Baggett would like to see is more pressure from his team on the defensive end. As Janetto hits a jumper. Janetto, the first Hornet double figures. He's got 11.
Rider last year really struggled offensively, and I think that hurt him in a lot of the MAC games. They just couldn't keep up with the other teams that could score the ball better.
One of the things, though, you have to do is knock down your threes. And again, here tonight, as Pope misses, they're not able to knock down their threes. James misses a layup on the offensive rebound.
Yeah, last year, Dow, Rider gave up nearly 40 more three-pointers than they made over the course of the season. That was a big reason why they lost a lot of those MAC games.
Murray on the bump. Joel Walton said you got him with your elbow. So Fragala will go to the line. A 1-and-1, 9th team foul. Second personal on Murray. Alan Powell back in with McKeithen. So it's Powell and McKeithen, along with Altman, James, and Vaughn for the Bronx. Fragala makes the front end of the 1-on-1.
It's funny to see Demencio Vaughn next to Sodom. And Vaughn is not a small dude, but Sodom just skies over him when you look at the setup between the two.
Second one, also good. Yeah, again, Sodom, Georgetown was interested. Obviously, he was stops at Georgetown and GW. There's McKeithen. McKeithen's bumped by Perkins. First on Perkins, second team foul, and a timeout on the floor. 7:56 left, second half. Rider 47, Delaware State 33. We'll be back with more.
today.
Darrell Fine, Steve Rudenstein with you here from Alumni Gymnasium. You see Sam Waterman and the Delaware State coaching staff. Certainly not what they hoped for today, trailing 47-33. Still 7:56 left, though. Still plenty of time. And McKeithen for the Bronx. Hornets in the zone. They've been there most of the night. 10 to shoot. McKeithen tries to get it to Vaughn. He does, and Vaughn is fouled. Just the third team foul against the Hornets, so the Bronx will inbound.
Spencer Vaughn filling up the stat sheet in this one. 12 points, 6 rebounds, couple assists, couple steals, couple blocks. Another good game for him.
Alan Powell looking. High rebound to Soto. Sotom's got pretty good hands, too, for a big man. Perkins. Baseline, Janetto, layup good. And you know what? It's just 12-point lead now for the Bronx. Pressure beaten by the Bronx. Vaughn to James. James, short jumper, no good. Rebound, Soto. And life for the Hornets. Carter, three, got it. And this is now a ball game, single digits, and that's what I was talking about, Steve. Can the Bronx close out these type of games?
The shades of Friday night, coughing up that 15-point lead. Just the third three of the game for the Hornets.
McKeithen. Powell, left corner. Vaughn up top, now McKeithen. Right corner, shot is well off the mark by Altman. Coming the other way are the Hornets once again. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebound by James. Powell left corner.
Everything on the perimeter right now. Ryder needs a player to cut inside the zone to try to create some space.
And now the Hornets switch to man to man. And they walk on James. So under 6 to go, Delaware State ball down just 9.
And Dwight Murray's going to come back on the floor. The Bronx are trying to buy some time with him on the bench, kind of see how that Powell-McKeithen configuration would work out, but they need Murray back in.
So a good shot of assistant coach Jeff Arnold with his hands over his eyes and head. And he's just looking up now. Can't believe what he's seeing. Here's Carter. Carter is fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot a 1-on-1.
Easy call there for Nathan Farrell. Pope had the hands on the back of the jersey.
So I stand corrected. 10th team foul. He'll go to line for 2. So 5:45 left, second half. And Carter could continue to chip away here for the Hornets. And he does with his first free throw. Hoagie Muno Johnson back in for James. Two of 2 for Carter. And now a 7-point lead for the Bronx. Trapping pressure. Powell gets it ahead to Pope. Back to Powell, back to Pope. Pope a 3, no good. Not a good shot there by the Bronx. And Soto with the rebound. That is not the shot you're looking for in that situation. Fragala 3, no good. Rebound off of Pope, out of bounds. No, they're going to say it stays with the Bronx. Ryder might have got it in a break there, Steve. And Soto will come out. Christopher Smith back in.
A lot of empty trips for Ryder here in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
across the timeline. Now Powell. Now with Sodom out, maybe the Bronx will look to go inside because they've tried everything from the outside. Here's Ogimoto Johnson who gets it to go.
That's good recognition, and just like you said, Daryl, they're able to force the ball in. Ogimoto Johnson, one of the rare times he's right on top of the hoop to make a short basket.
Carter. Jumper, no good, in and out. And the rebound loose, taken by Carter. Floater, no good. Rebound is, it's going to be a foul called against Delaware State. Foul on Carter.
Here comes Sodom back, and I think Coach Waterman was trying to get a minute or two to get us underneath the 4-minute media, but he doesn't want to see this lead expand back to double digits.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's exactly what he was trying to do. Put Sodom back on the floor for Smith. Again, the Hornets will pressure the backcourt. Powell and Murray able to beat the pressure once again. Vaughn nearly stolen away in front of his own bench. Oh, a contested three by Vaughn. Rebound long to Murray, and Murray knocks down the mid-range jumper, but once again, not the shot you want from Vaughn this time. You know, the Bronx have to try to work the time, work the ball around, try to get an open look. That certainly was an open look. Timeout on the floor, 4:18 left second half. Bronx by 11. We'll be back here. Hornets, who trailed in this one as many as 18, I believe now. They cut the deficit to 9.
What a weird weekend for Delaware State. They were down by bigger margins on Friday to a Division III school in Salisbury. Tonight, they've kind of hung around against a Division I rider.
And still plenty of time left, 4:18 left. A Bronx full court pressure. The full court pressure has been a factor here tonight. Turning the ball over. The Hornets have done that about 20 times here. Richardson, the freshman, finds Janetto down to Sodom. Sodom, the 7'3" center, just stuffs it over Ogimoto Johnson.
He's got good moves in the post.
Yeah.
He's able to move his feet well, and
he's legit. I mean, he's gonna be a handful in the MEAC for sure. You don't see that every day in the MAC or the MEAC, or, you know, most mid-majors. You just don't get that. Ogimoto Johnson, hook over the 7'3" Sodom.
That's a heck of a finish. Sodom was in good position to alter that shot, but Ogimoto Johnson able to float it over him.
Richardson, Fagala for three, got it. Fagala knocks down a three, keeping the Hornets in this. 8-point lead for the Bronx. Full court pressure. Powell get it across the timeline. Ajiri, double teamed in the corner, gets rid of it to Vaughn. Now Murray. Powell. 8 to shoot. They get it to Ogimoto Johnson. To Murray. Murray with 3 to shoot. Murray, good move around Richardson, no good. Rebound, Ogimoto Johnson. And he goes off glass and good over Sodom. And the rebound and putback gives Ajiri a double-double with 10 points, 10 rebounds. Carter, now to Richardson. 10-point Bronx lead. Richardson drives around Murray, scoops it to Sodom, who walks before the dunk. And a turnover against the Hornets. And now, take a look at our Ticket Smarter play of the game. In the first half, a great block by Demencio Vaughn. And that was when this game was close at that point. That is our Ticket Smarter play of the game. Nothing beats the power and excitement of live events like Ticket Smarter. For all the best sports, concerts, and theater events, visit ticketsmarter.com or on the app. Ticket Smarter is proud to be the official partner of against the 7'3" Sodom here in the second half. Good moves, a good hook over Sodom, then a good head and shoulder fake after an offensive rebound. But Sodom is definitely a difference maker. He makes you adjust your shots. You know, give credit to Ryder to keep trying to go after him. He's got 6 blocked shots.
Kind of a weird game down where the bench scoring hasn't been there really for either team. It's really been these starters who have had the biggest impact in a low-scoring affair.
So 2:04 left. This the last non-conference home game this year for the Bronx. Just 2. Good job by the Bronx to break the full court pressure as Pope dribbles through. Now McKeith.
Delaware State, a couple more fouls to go to put Ryder into that 1-and-1. So that may be the strategy here from Coach Waterman. Preserve the time left on the clock and force him to make the free throws.
How about McKeithen on the floor instead of Alan Powell here with under 2? Murray hawked by Richardson. Murray gets around Richardson. A floater over Sodom for 2. And the Bronx by a dozen. There's a wild runner by Carter. No good, but he is fouled.
I'm a little surprised, Darryl, that Powell's not on the floor, but he's just been a really tough game for him. So they want to give McKeithen a chance to try to close it out, I guess.
Yeah, Powell has struggled here tonight. Kevin Baggett showing confidence in McKeithen. Minute 34 left. And Carter will try to get the Hornets within 10 once again. This is that one. And a foul. Just the 6th-team foul. So the Bronx once again will have to inbound. Bucks. A minute and a half from going to 2-1 here in the young season. Delaware State looking for their first win. Murray, good pass from Vaughn to the hole. Layup no good. Rebound Soto. And Carter quickly stopped floater in the paint for 2. And back to 9. And Kevin Baggett will call a timeout.
I think Coach Baggett not thrilled with Murray taking that quick shot. He did have an opportunity, but you need to use clock here.
That's a great point. I mean, there's no reason to take that shot. Just slow it down. Make them. They're gonna foul you. Make them foul you. And that's again. That you're counting on Murray. You're counting on Vaughn to lead this team with their experience, and that's why you need to set the example early on in the season. So not a good move by Murray.
Well, Ryder might hold on. They're obviously in position, but there's a lot on tape these last couple of games for the coaching staff to work with these players to try to help them finish games stronger and hopefully starting with the next one against Bucknell.
So it is off to Bucknell, as you say, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. And then the Bronx will head to Buffalo. And from there, it's off to Mexico. The Cancun Challenge, Riviera Maya. They'll face Middle Tennessee on the 23rd of November, and then either Bucknell or Mercer, depending on wins or losses.
How about 2 trips this year for Ryder to Buffalo?
How about that? How about that? You know, we love Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
Oddly enough, we happen to love Buffalo. So Ryder ball. Minute 14 left. You see Vaughn will run the baseline. Now to Pope, and Pope is fouled by Fragala, and that will send Pope to the line for a 1-and-1. Last time we looked at that out-of-town scoreboard, Steve, Canisius was up by a bunch over St. Bonaventure. St. Bonaventure has come back to take a 3-point lead, 61-58, just over 3.5 minutes in that one. Boston College, a 72-64 win over Fairfield. The Mac out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Rothman. And Pope to the line first time tonight. Front end of the 1-and-1 good.
This has been one of the positive sides of this one. Pope was pretty much a non-factor the first couple of games, and he's contributed nicely off the bench. He's been the best bench performer for Ryder today.
And Pope hits his first 2 free throws of the season. The 4th Bronc in double figures. Carter up top, chased by Ogimuno Johnson. Fragala kicks it right corner. Staten under a minute to go. Fragala throws up a 3, no good. Rebound McKeithen. And McKeithen is fouled. 11-point lead for the Bronx, 53 seconds.
Well, Delaware State picked 6th in the MEAC, and Coppin State, who Ryder played on Friday night, picked 4th. But after these 2 games, I think that both teams are going to be right there towards the top of the standings in the MEAC, but for different reasons. Coppin State's got guys who can score, put up a lot of points, and this Delaware State team might be one of the better defensive teams in the MEAC.
Staten around Vaughn, then a floater over Ogimuno Johnson for 2. Good job by Staten. Vaughn just gets it into Pope, and Pope is fouled. Delaware State not ready to wave the white flag yet. And Pope back to the line. He's just made 2 free throws moments ago.
How about Coppin State? We saw them obviously Friday at Connecticut yesterday, so they were traveling. Now,
crazy schedule.
Now they're down to UNC Greensboro for Monday.
just a crazy schedule for Coppin State. One thing for sure, they should be able to take that into MEAC play, this non-conference schedule, if they're not dog-tired by then.
Hope they have enough gas money to get through the season.
Second one by Pope. I think they'll manage. I got a feeling. Here's Fregala. Long three by Staten, no good. And the rebound, Carter. He'll turn around. Three, got it. Right in front of his own bench. And Vaughn running the baseline, gets it into Pope, and Pope is fouled. 32.9 seconds left.
Bronx are going to end up with 4 double-figure scores in this one. As poor an offensive showing as it was, they end up with 4 over 10 points.
And Jeremiah Pope back to the line, where he seems to be very comfortable here tonight. First one good. Pope could wind up to be the leading scorer in the game, after being shut out the first 2.
That's one I wouldn't have predicted coming into this one.
Fregala off glass, no good. Ogimono Johnson, his 12th rebound, and he is fouled. You hear the Bronx fans asking Delaware State to just give up. Two free throws upcoming for Ajiri. First one no good. McGlone back in. Benson coming in. Jerry misses both of his free throws. Jerry's double-double the first of the year for the Bronx through these 3 games. Janetto 3 off the mark. Rebound Benson. And now Delaware State's will call it a night. And the Bronx will go to 2-0. The Hornets 2-1. The Hornets 1-2. With this 63-53 win here at